Yeah. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the very first session of the online Kendall Betts Horn Camp experience, the guided warm-up. Our panelists this morning and every morning are Bernhard Scully, former member of Canadian Brass, artistic director of the Kendall Betts Horn Camp, and associate professor of horn at the University of Illinois, and Jesse McCormick, second horn of the Cleveland Orchestra, member of the Factory Seconds Brass Trio, and horn professor at Baldwin Wallace Conservatory. I'm your moderator, Chris Williams, staff member of Kendall Betts, academist of the Karajan Academy of the Berlin Philharmonic, and former student of Bernard's. This session and all sessions are brought to you as part of the online KBHC experience, our gift to the horn community. Before we begin, please take a moment to familiarize yourself with some of the controls at the bottom of your screen, notably chat and Q&A. Please post any questions in the Q&A. I will be monitoring there to answer everything I can and to bring anything pressing to Bernhard and Jesse's attention. All of these questions can be upvoted by clicking the thumbs up icon located just below each question. Also, be aware that comments posted in the chat can be viewed either by all panelists or all panelists and attendees. If you post a comment to all panelists and attendees, everyone viewing today's session will be able to see what you have written. You may use this function, but we want you to be aware of who will see what you write. Please use discretion. And with that, I'll hand it off to Bernhard and Jesse.
All right.
Thanks, Chris. Jesse, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Hi, everybody. Morning, everybody. Welcome to the online KBHC experience. Day one warm-up. Here we are. Lots of anticipation for this thing. I'm Bernhard Scully.
And I'm Jesse McCormick, Associate Artistic Director of Kendall Betts Horn Camp. We are really thrilled to have you all here with us. We think we have a very exciting week planned. We've been spending many weeks and hundreds or even maybe thousands of hours putting this together with a really amazing team of people, amazing staff, faculty, board members. So we are very excited to get this week up and running. Bernhard, do you want to just give a brief overview of what we're doing here with warm-ups and what our purpose is this week?
Yeah, thanks, Jesse. So you all have the warm-up packet. You're beginning a new one each day. This is day one. So there's a little bit of writing at the beginning. Sorry to bombard everybody with that, but there were some things we wanted you guys to keep in mind. I'll go over just a few of them, just so you know. Firstly, this warm-up is designed for all ages and abilities. So it's going to start off pretty basic. It's a progressive warm-up, though, so in the sense that each day we add material and build upon what we have done the previous days. So by the end of the week, it's actually going to get pretty advanced. So we hope that you stick with us, even if you feel like today is a little bit too simple. We feel that even the simplest things can benefit even the most advanced players. So we're good with simple, too. So we're going to do a lot of explanation today about the purpose of each of the exercises. And we'll do a little less of that as the week goes on for sake of time. We want to make sure we end it around 10 to the hour. One thing we wanted to encourage everybody is to just do it only what you're able to do. If some of these things are beyond your abilities, don't fret. Just play the range you can play the speeds you can play. No one can hear anybody over cyberspace. I can't see anybody, so I can just see Jesse, and I can only hear myself. So don't worry if you can't do everything. If you want to or if it's too easy for you, you want to do more stuff while you're, it's fine with us. But don't force anything. The whole thing is you want to try to build it from the ground up, focusing on quality. There'll be plenty of challenges as the week goes on. One thing that we kind of feel is that this material is it's not sacrosanct. We're just providing with really basic material. Some of you maybe have never had warm-up maintenance building routines before. This might be the first one. So these are things that you begin to kind of evolve over time. You kind of add exercises that you get. By no means think of this as the end all. This is bare rudiments here. So treat these as starting points, and you certainly can keep them for as long as you want, but starting points for you. Feel free to create your own exercises. We do a part of the exercise each day called, part of the warm-up called the Song of the Day. And that's a really great time just to begin to make up your own exercises, which we really believe in. So Those are some thoughts for you. One thing, we're not going to be adding too many dynamics in this exercise, in this warm-up, because for a lot of reasons, but you can feel free to add them in if you want, especially in the beautiful sounds exercise and the scales. If you want to try to do some fortissimo or pianissimo, feel free, something for the future. And at the end, there'll be time for questions. So we'll try to get have any questions or concerns. So we're going to begin the day with stretching. And so we hope you enjoy it, and let's get started. Anything else, Jesse?
No, I think you summed up pretty well. The two things I would say is, generally the purpose of a warm-up, of course, is to introduce yourself to the instrument for the day, but also to reinforce good habits. So we hope that you can join us throughout the week or review our videos later if you can't join us live, with the intent of reinforcing good habits on the horn. And, there are millions of ways of warming up, and this is but one of them. So, we hope you enjoy it. All right, should we start stretching?
Let's do it. Okay, so we got the page 3, right after the page I just was on, called Stretching and Breathing. Turn to that, and stand up, or you can keep sitting if you want. This is to get the body limbered up. Playing the horns is a very physical activity. It's physical and mental, so this kind of gets us stretched. We're going to begin with twisting, which is simply what I was just doing. Just going to get the torso limbered up. Try to release any tension you feel. Tension is one of the first things that begins to hurt our sound. So we're just kind of releasing that. So let's do 10 full repetitions. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, good. So now we're going to do a fold over. This is the touch your toes, or just go as far as you can go. I'll be out of the frame for a minute here. So we're going to count to 10. Touch your toes. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. The blood's in my head now. Okay, so now we're going to do some side bends. Now you can either put the hand up like this, or you can keep down. I'm going to go to my right, which probably is your left actually, but whatever way you want is fine. We're going to do 10 counts on each side. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. And now the other side. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, the next, last two parts of this are more active. We're going to do some arm rotations, which is this. Just getting the body fluid. If you're swimmers, you know what this is. Okay, so this is, we're doing forwards, and then we're going to go, we're going to do backwards first, and then we're going to do forwards. So 10 each. Here we go. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, now forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. And lastly, we're going to give all this up here a nice massage by doing some shoulder shrugs. So it's this motion like this. You just roll your shoulders, feel it all the way up here. We're going to do, again, 10 backwards and then 10 forwards. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. And now forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, that's our stretching. Now on to breathing.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Bernhard. So I've been teasing Bernhard because that's always my favorite stretching exercise because it just looks so strange. So yeah, so I'll probably be laughing all week about that. All right, so that brings us into our breathing exercises. We're going to stay standing for this. So just a little bit about why is breathing important? Well, because it's the fuel of our instrument, right? And I think oftentimes it gets overlooked by us as players as underestimating the power and the value of really good breath and really good direction with the breath. So our breathing exercises this week are going to be based upon bringing awareness to our breathing, how we're taking air in, how we're exhaling and using air in the phrase. And also we're going to be doing every day an exercise that we call the capacity exercise, all right? This is learning how much air we can actually take in and how much we can get rid of. Because I think that we tend to operate in a 20-60 range, meaning that you get to about 20% of your capacity, then you inhale to about 60% of your capacity, and we just kind of operate in this 20 to 60 range. And with that, that's where we end up breathing like every measure or every measure and a half, right? If we can learn to use 100% of our capacity and get much closer to 0%, you'll find that your phrases are a lot longer and you have a lot more control over the breath. So, a few explanations. We're going to do some basic breathing exercises to start, counting at quarter note equals 60, all right? And what we like to do when we inhale is we put our hand up to our mouth like this with an O syllable while we inhale. And it's going to look and sound like this. So, yeah, it's again, like I said, it's an O syllable, and you want the tongue down, the back of the throat open, and your air is going very deep. Let's try that as a group with an O syllable. Inhale with the hand up to the mouth. Ready? Go. Yeah, awesome. Let's do another one of those. Ready? Go. Okay, it should feel nice and open, all right? And you probably are hearing what would be considered a low whooshing sound, right? That's really good. That's a great sign. What you want to avoid is something like this. You hear how that's a higher pitched, more of a rushing air sound? That means that the air is hitting something that's restricting it and restricting airflow. So that's what we want to avoid this week. So our first breathing exercise, quarter note equals 60. We're going to breathe 3 counts in and then 3 counts out. 4 in, 4 out. 5 in, 5 out, and 6 in, 6 out. All right. I will count us off, and we'll breathe with our hand up like this. All right. Shall we start the first one? Okay. So in and out, starting with 3s. 3 for nothing. All right. 1. Ready. Go. 4 in, 4 out. 5 in, 5 out. 6 in, 6 out. Good. And a nice deep breath to just let everything in and out. Okay, good. Already feeling loosened up and a little bit more relaxed than we started. Okay, so each day we're going to do slight variants on what we just did, building different exercises and awareness on breathing. The last thing of breathing before we move on is to build the first half of our capacity breath that I was talking about earlier. And so what I want you to do is we're going to take in a huge breath, what you would consider to be 100% of your maximum lung capacity, all right? Really trying to tank up and fill up as much as possible. When you reach 100%, you're going to keep the throat open, always open, and you're going to take 2 sips on top of that to try to get to 101% and then 102%, all right? We're really trying to expand our lungs as much as possible. That's the first half of the capacity breath, and I will demonstrate now what that's going to look like, okay? Ready? All right, so it might feel a little foreign to some of you, tanking up that much. You notice that everything kind of goes up a little bit. That's okay, that's a result of expanding, all right? You notice that I'm not pulling my shoulders up as I breathe in. They're rising as a reaction of my lungs filling with really good high quality air. So I'm going to demonstrate it one more time, and then we're going to do it as a group. It will look like this. All right, nice and full, expanding on all sides, front, side, back, up, and down, all right, like a balloon on all sides. Okay, let's do 3 of these as a group, okay? Inhale to 100%, keep the throat open, 2 sips, up to 102%, and let it all go. Here we go as a group, ready, go. Awesome, okay. 2 more of those. Really feeling your full capacity as much as you can, all right? In a healthy and safe manner. Big inhalation, here we go, and inhale. Ah, yeah. I can feel as I exhale all this tension just flows right out of me. It's awesome. Okay, 1 more of those. Last one for today. Full inhalation, 100%. Here we go, and inhale. All right, that's the first half of our capacity breath. We will build the second half tomorrow. So we now move on to our first notes on the horn.
Thanks so much, Jesse. Yes, and all this breathing we've just done, we're going to keep it with us. Think of every one of the exercises we're doing as not only the exercise in itself, but also a breathing exercise. You're practicing the breathing. Sorry, I'm getting positioned here. You're practicing the breathing with the exercise. So now it leads us to first notes on the horn. And a little bit about this. So obviously you all deal with this every day. For me, because every day is different. That's one of the beauties of playing the instrument, right? It's not like we get to a point where every day is predictable. Every day is kind of a different day. We're different. We feel different. Maybe you played a hard concert the night before. Maybe you haven't played for a while. You know, whatever's happening, you have to get to the point where you can produce your best sound. And that's what this is all about. First notes on the horn are all about establishing our very best unique sound on the instrument, taking whatever time we need, actually. If this takes you a very brief amount of time to do, if you're more experienced, great. For me, at some points, I might spend upwards of 5 or 10 minutes a day on this if I'm not happy with my sound. Because the sound we produce at the beginning, that's going to be carried through everything else we're doing. All the other exercises are a combination of sound, breathing, and music studies in themselves. So never forget that, and this is where it all begins. Another thing about this point in the practice is, for me, I want to be really kind to myself, because if I'm not feeling so good and I wake up in the morning, maybe I feel pretty tight, my sound maybe isn't what I want. So I'm not going to tell myself like, I'm not playing well today. I'm just going to say, you know what, it's okay. I'm going to keep going through the process until I reach the point where I'm satisfied. And I'm not going to judge myself. You know, funny sounds are perfectly fine. So if you find yourself having to spend extra time with this, really it's okay. In fact, that really goes with all the exercises here. Just the idea of non-judgment. We're in a process. You know, process is a lot different than the destination, but I think the more you can stay in process, I think the better we become. And oftentimes it leads us directly to the end goal, actually. So, so for this, we're going to start with a little bit of a free buzz. Maybe for some of you this is new. It's fine. So if you just do your little, watermelon spitting motion, usually you can produce some sort of a free buzz. Just produce the buzz wherever it's natural. And I think everybody kind of has a natural free buzz. So I'm going to do this, and then Jesse's going to show you where his is. And usually our opening buzzes are pretty different. Mine's lower. So this is what mine sounds like. Thanks, Jesse. So, and it doesn't really matter. In fact, it's kind of interesting how that works. I don't know what the reason is. We all have different opening free buzzes. So it's a good time to release the tension in the face. So once you do that, everybody try that. Just try free buzzing where it's easy. Good. Now, let's take out the mouthpiece. do the same thing. So we're really focusing on being relaxed here. A syllable that helps us as we kind of get this started is a who. Kendall used to talk about a syllable that was oh, like you lower the jaw a bit and you go more of a forward ooh. So another one for me that works is the French don. I don't know if we have any French speakers. Apologies for my pronunciation of that. D-A-N-S, which is actually in one of the first natural horn books as a nice syllable to start with. It kind of keeps things forward, keeps things relaxed, keeps the jaw fairly relaxed and open and easy. So whatever one of these things works for you, or maybe you come up with your own, that's fine. So I just put the mouthpiece up and do the same thing, wherever it just feels easy. Why don't you go ahead and try it.
Did we lose Bernhard, or did we lose me?
Oops, I think, can you guys still hear me? Jesse's frozen, but
yes, we can hear you, Bernhard, but Jesse is frozen. So if you
okay,
could just
all right.
Continue.
Sorry, well, it'll work itself out. Okay, so now we're going to on the horn, and I really suggest I wrote in the warm up here one of 3 notes, but you can feel free to choose other notes if you want to use a different fingering. I like the open horn; tends to be the most natural. You know, pardon my, generality, but it's really, very logical for us to choose an open note of the instrument. And these are very easy notes for us to produce, but they're also notes that, because they're easy, they allow us to produce a sound that's beautiful very easily. And then this gets in our mind, and then we hold on to that and begin to branch out. We keep that with us. So that's why I think it's really nice to focus on easy mid-range notes. And I'm going to begin this like I did with the free buzz and the mouthpiece. I forgot to mention it, is with the air attack. This gets the tongue out of the way. The tongue, we need to use the tongue. We'll talk more about the tongue. But at this point, the tongue can sometimes hamper us. So I know Jesse feels that doing things with air attack it can help us a lot. It can kind of get a more natural sound going. Another thing too is the airspeed. Be mindful to kind of keep it relaxed. I wrote down the word seashell. So if you ever have heard a conch shell, you pick it up on the beach or wherever you find one, you listen to it, and it's just that most relaxed air you'd ever imagine. That's the kind of air you want to use right now. And then you can kind of speed it up to where a sound produces. But I think it's much better to come at it from that point than to come at it from the faster air and try to take it down. That's my personal opinion. You can actually just blow that air in the horn for a bit without a sound. Everybody try that. So you probably can't hear the sound, but I'm just blowing very nice, easy, warm seashell air into the horn. Hopefully that kind of relaxed everybody. Certainly relaxed me. So now the difference is I'm going to start to go into a buzz on the instrument. Again, I'm not too worried about the initial sounds coming out, because once I start making the sound, I'm starting to listen. And I'm going to take note of all the parts of it that I like. And all the parts of it I don't like, it's fine. I'm just going to kind of push past it. And through my airstream, I begin to make it better, what I like. So let's try it. You can do this with me if you want, or you can listen for a bit. So I landed on an E. That tends to be the note that I first produce most easily. Why don't you go ahead and try that? Whatever note feels right for you. At the horn camp, when we do this, it's usually the most beautiful C major chord you've ever heard, because people are so relaxed. The sounds are so beautiful. I wish I could hear everybody playing.
Yeah,
Maybe
with
someday.
With 400 of us here, it'd be quite a sound.
Yeah, it would. I wish you could record it. So that's what it is. And so once you spend as much time with that as you need, and really focus on the quality. Once you establish what you feel is your best quality, and it's up to you. You're the one who can kind of begin to tell, like, what's my best sound? And that's an important realization that you want to make right away in the warm-up. And that leads us directly to the next study, which is called Ho-Do-Do.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks, Bernard. So now we've done our stretching, we've got our breathing going, and we've got our buzzing going. So now the next exercise is about pairing our air and our buzz together in getting past the first notes of on the horn for the day. All right. So we call this Ho-Do-Do because that's the articulation that we use in this pattern. So as you can see, it's printed on the page. We do half note, whole note. And the first note, we use the syllable of ho. So no articulation, you just went ho. The next one is a do. And then the last note is a whole note, do. All right. We take one measure to breathe, and then we climb chromatically, half steps. We're going to do so until we reach an octave above where we started. All right. And we recommend trying this on the open F horn, not using B flat horn fingerings, but if you're more comfortable, feel free to use whichever fingerings you like. I will display what this is going to sound like once, and then we'll start as a group, okay? At quarter note equals 60, it will sound like this. And then we keep going. As we climb, okay? So, as a group, all right, we're going to start on C and climb chromatically. All right. So, here we go. All a group, 4 for nothing on C. 1, 2, ready. Continuing on C sharp. D. E flat. E natural. F natural. F sharp. G natural. A flat. A natural. B flat. B natural. Last one, C natural. Okay, very good. So we climbed the octave. This is a great, easy introduction to the instrument. We're just getting buzz and air going in a really nice, relaxed, flowing manner.
Thanks so much, Jesse. Yeah, we're getting warmed up here. And now we're introducing an exercise we call Song of the Day. One of the reasons we like this and we put it where it is right now is that the warm-up is not just about getting physically warmed up. our goal as horn players and musicians is to communicate ideas and to communicate sounds. And sometimes in some warm-up settings, in some routine settings, things get so routine that we might forget about that. And then we don't end up doing it until we sit in the orchestra or play our solo or what have you. So I think it's a really good idea to get our creative minds going right away. And again, just like the breathing and now the sound, we begin to infuse that natural phrasing and the natural musicality that's within all of us into everything we're doing, even if they're a little more technical studies like scales. So I chose, normally in the class at the horn camp, for those of you that have been to the horn camp know that I usually take a poll of who chooses the song of the day. And we end up with whatever. But since I can't do that right now, I just took the liberty of choosing some songs. And as you go through the week, you notice it's songs from around the world. With only 6 days, of course, I was limited to how many songs I could choose, so I tried to get as good a representation as I could. But we're going to start with Europe and the West, and we're going to with our Ode to Joy by Beethoven. Everybody knows it. So the idea with this is I'm going to sing it, and you guys can feel free to sing it. I am just bearing my soul to you guys right now, so you know, my daughters are laughing at me, but I really believe in singing. Singing is so integral to horn playing. I think the horn is an extension of our vocal essence, essentially. So it's really good to get connected with that. You don't have to have a great singing voice. You notice that mine's not very good, so I'm just showing everybody that. So you don't have to be great, and no one can hear you. So just sing as loud as you want, because no one can hear you. It's all, however many of you there are, that you know, you're all on your own. So sometimes people get kind of scared about singing, but you know, we shouldn't be. So we're gonna get the first note on the horn. Nom. And I'm just going to sing it, and I'm going to sing it with phrasing, the way that I know the song. If you want to sing with me, feel free. So here we go. 1, a 2, a 1, 2, ready, go. La 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 la. La 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 la. It's easy as that. So once you have that blueprint in your mind, go on the mouthpiece now. Now we're going to take it to the horn. Let's buzz it. You can solfege it too. Someone just mentioned solfege. Feel free to solfege. La, da. If you know the words in German, feel free to sing it. I don't. Or I did. So here's the mouthpiece. When we do it in the mouthpiece, we're really sustained, really that big breath. You know, we're getting a great sound. Try to go for a really high level of pitch and rhythm and accuracy in the mouthpiece. So let's do it together, everybody. Nom's the first note. 1, a 2, 1, 2. All right, now we're going to go on the horn. Let's try it together. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, right. Nice. So one other thing I recommend at this point, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time with it now because for sake of time, is I say sing, buzz, play, create. That means you can choose your own song. You can take the song in different octaves. You can choose different rhythms. You might even choose to make up your own exercise or use your own song that you created. And then we're doing Beautiful Sounds next. Do it, the exercise in the way that you would do the other exercises. This is a great time to really connect with yourself and your inner artist. So one thing you could do, and hopefully it's not too heretical to do it, is take the song of the day and do something fun with it. Sorry, Beethoven. All right, Jesse.
Nice. I think Beethoven would have highly approved.
I think so too.
Yeah. Also, after hearing you sing, I think my life has effectively changed forever. So thank you for that. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So are we. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so that brings us into our beautiful sound studies. This was developed by Sam Palafian, a tubist, as were many of the breathing exercises from a book called Breathing Gym, a Brass Gym, that many of you may be familiar with. So I think this statement will probably resonate with many of you. What drew me to the horn originally was its sound. I grew up in a home where I had brass playing parents, bass trombone, and my mom played horn. So I got to hear horn playing pretty regularly and was drawn to that sound. It just was a character that I thought was quite unique. And so, you know, we've done warming up of stretching, breathing, getting our buzz flowing, but getting our ideal sound is also something that we should spend a good amount of time warming up. So that's what this exercise is spaced to do. You'll notice that it's built in an arc, all right? So we can get our air flowing in that nice arc, all right? We're gonna start with the first line on C. And I want you to really think about that ideal sound. What made you choose the French horn in the first place, all right? That like golden, round, beautiful tone. And that's what we're trying to recreate here with a nice, easy flowing, warm air and a good, stable buzz, all right? So we're gonna build the first line, first half of this line now, and I'm gonna demonstrate what this is gonna sound like, okay? Nice, beautiful, active spinning air, all right? Feels nice and should feel really good. All right, so we're going to do this at quarter note equals 60 as a group. So again, I'll demonstrate one more time. Okay, so nice. Let's do that as a group. Starting on C. Here we go. 1, 2, ready. Excellent. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing, just coming down in a nice stepwise, gentle manner. It's going to sound like this. Just returning to where we started. All right, let's do that as a group. I'll count us off 4 for nothing. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, ready. Beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna stitch those 2 phrases together and make one phrase out of it. Now, we're building our capacity breathing throughout the week, all right? We already tanked up earlier, so I want you to think of doing that now. We're going to play the whole line. Attempt to do it in one breath if you can. If you cannot, feel free to breathe after the first whole note. That's perfectly acceptable. So I'll demonstrate once what the full arc is going to be like, and then we're going to do it as a group, all right? It's starting on C. It's going to sound like this. Wonderful active spinning beautiful air leads to wonderful active spinning beautiful sound. All right, here we do as a group. I'll count you off 4 for nothing. Okay, as a group. 1, 2, ready. Great. Okay, so that's the full line. Now what we're going to be doing throughout the week, now that we've got it established, is that we're going to start building our range with this beautiful sound line. Okay, so we're going to go up a half step from where we started, which is going to be on D flat, but then we're going to play down a half step from where we started, which is B. And we're going to continue this pattern throughout the week so that as we go up in our range, we're also going down in our range. So we're building a beautiful sound across all of the ranges of the horn. All right, so let's keep going. We're going to do D flat, and then we're going to rest for 4 measures while we breathe, and then we're going to do B natural. And that'll be as far as we get with beautiful sounds for today. So let's start on D flat as a group, 4 for nothing. All right, D flat, here we go. 1, 2, ready. And now on B, 2, 3. Excellent. Okay, so like I said, tomorrow we're going to build a lot on this and keep expanding into our ranges. By the end of the week, we're going to be in our extremes, but we will get there in methodical and stepwise motion. All right, that takes us to Harmonic Series.
Thanks, Jesse. And one thing we're going to do that's tied to the Harmonic Series is do what's called a mouthpiece siren. It's a way for us to spend a little more time on the mouthpiece, which, by the way, is a good thing to spend time on because it's kind of a microscope on our playing. If you have little issues in the mouthpiece, maybe there are things you want to work on the horn. So this is just a way for us to even out our range, build upon all the breathing and the sustaining and this tone building we've already been doing. So it sounds like this. I won't spend too much time on it. I think it's self-explanatory. But keep in mind that the slower you go, the better, and the more you feel the sound. So it sounds like this. 1 octave today. Let's everybody try that. So notice I'm getting as much sound as possible in that octave. 1, 2, ready. Good. So now we're going into Harmonic Series, which we've already dealt with a little bit in beautiful sounds, especially if you were staying on the F horn. This is just a way now to build our range. It's a way to gain flexibility, especially. Begin to focus on the importance of the airstream. Really think of it as all air. You know, our beautiful sound is emerging, but we're trying to release any extra tension in the face. One thing you can do as you begin the exercise, I wrote down a half whistle. Whistling helps us understand how the syllable works as we go up and down the horn. So try that. So today we're just going to do an octave. We're going to build it at first. I'll put the metronome on 60. Get that straight. There we go. There we go. So the first note. There it is. So I'll half whistle it just for a minute. Just try that. Go ahead. Now let's play it on the horn. 1, 2, ready. Good. Now we'll add 1 note. The G. 1, 2, ready. Now we're going to add another note, and this note is not in the normal Western scale. This is a little bit of a flat B flat, but it's on the open horn. So just revel in these natural harmonics. Let it sound beautiful just like the other notes, even though it's going to have a little different timbre to it. And we'll be adding more of those as the week goes on. So it sounds a bit like this. Try it, everybody. 1, 2, all right. think everybody's do. Big, beautiful sound, the same kind of sound you're producing in the beautiful sounds. 1, 2, okay. Good. So now we're just going to go down on the harmonic series. We're going to go fingering 2, fingering 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1 and 3, and then 1, 2, and 3 to cover all the different F horn combinations. And we'll just do it together. Okay, here we go. Starting on the fingering 2, since you just did the open horn. 1, 2, ready? Fingering 1, 2, okay. Fingering 1, 2, 2, okay. Two, 3, 2, okay. One and 3. And lastly, 1, 2, and 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Good. So now we're going to go a little bit faster. We're going to go in eighth notes. And I realize we're getting a little crunchy on time, so we'll just kind of try to go through the next exercises. Well, we're not too worried. I mean, we have the whole hour, so we'll be fine. Okay, so we're going to start where we just left off in 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to go in eighth notes. So it sounds like this. I'll do one iteration. And we're going to go up. So everybody try it. 1, 2, and 3. Here we go. 1, 2, ready? One and 3, 2, okay. 2 and 3, 2. Now page turn. 1 and 2, 2. 1, 2. Two, big breath. And open to. We'll be expanding on that all week.
Great. Thanks, Bernhard. Okay, so that brings us right into the last exercises that we do as part of our guided warm-up, and that is scales. We're going to start with chromatic scales, and these are going to get harder throughout the week, so I would say practice your F horn and your B flat horn fingerings, all right? It's going to benefit you in the days to come. So we're going to start out with a quarter note equals 60, F horn only scale, 1 octave today. You can see that the fingerings are printed there for your reference if you need them, all right? So articulate on whatever syllable is comfortable for you, but this is going to be quarter notes at 60, okay? It's going to sound like this. Okay, nice and slow. We're going to do that as a group, all the way up and down. Breathe wherever you need to, all right? So here we go. F horn only, 4 for nothing. 1, 2, ready. Okay, now on B flat horn only, same exact pattern. Are you ready? Here we go, 4 for nothing. 1, 2, ready. Great. So enjoy how simple that was today, because it will not be again the rest of this week.
My brain was already hurting, Jesse.
It's hurting now, just wait.
It's one instrument, 2 sets of vowels, but 1 instrument, so we got to learn both. Okay, so now this leads us to our major scales and arpeggios, which is the last part of the warm-up. I'm going to go at eighth notes equals 60 today, or sorry, chord equals 60 with eighth notes. If this is too fast for you, it is a little fast. We're doing it for the sake of time partly. Feel free to go in quarters, or if you want to do, bossa nova triplets in between or something, that's fine. Just do whatever's comfortable. We're going in 1 octave today, and we're going circle of fifths. So we think that learning all your scales is really important as a horn player. So the pattern is, again, whatever articulation you feel comfortable with. I'm just going to use a nice, like a da. And that's the pattern. Ready? 1, 2, ready? Now G. 1, 2, ready? Now D. 1, 2, ready? Now A. 1, 2, ready? 1, 2, ready? Now F sharp. 1, 2, ready? Now D flat. 2, ready? Now A flat. 1, 2, ready? Almost done. E flat. 1, 2, ready? B flat. 1, 2, ready? And lastly, F. 1, 2, ready? And that's it. So you notice there's one more thing we included. We're not going to do it in the warm-up, but it's a warm down pedals. If you want to do that on your own to kind of get your face warmed down, feel free. We included it after every warm-up. It's up to you. Some of us like it, some of us don't. But thanks for joining us today. And we have a few minutes left for questions, I think, if you guys have any.
Yeah, we have about 1 minute.
1 minute.
Yeah. So we can probably answer about one question. The first one that came in here, Mary Haddix is asking, in regards to the breathing exercises, the 3 in, 3 out, 4 in, 4 out. She asks, would you say that your inhale rate is consistent between each of the exercises? They say they're smaller and have had teachers tell them that they cannot make certain phrases because they're so small. Is there any difference other than volume as you increase duration?
The way I'm thinking of breathing, like 3 in, I'm trying to think of going from close to empty to close to full over 3 counts. The next time I'm doing that over 4 counts and then 5 counts and then 6 counts. So basically each time you're slowing down the rate at which you get from empty to full. So I hope that I know that in the interest of time, I'm trying to be brief, but I hope that answers the question.
And just to be clear, thanks, Jesse. Just to be clear, I'm not a very big person. Like, I don't have that much air in my body. But I learned early on because one of my teachers was smaller than me, but she played better than everybody. And I figured, like, if she can play the horn that way, taking the breaths that she did, using the air that she had, and playing that way, then anybody can do it. And it's all just science. It's all just how you use it. If you take the air in, smaller people might have to take more breaths, but there's really no reason why all of us cannot play long phrases. And it doesn't take that much air to play the horn, actually. So.
Well, we were running a little late today. In future days, in the next couple days, we will try to add a little more time at the end to address your questions. But we are so glad that you all could join us, and please join us again the rest of this week.
See you guys tomorrow.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, everyone, so much for joining us today. Peterson, I made note of your question, and we will get to it tomorrow as we have time to do that. I just want to say thank you, everybody, for attending today's session of the online KBHC experience. Here is a rundown of upcoming events for today. In about half an hour, Jeff Agrell, horn professor at the University of Illinois and noted author of several pedagogical books, will present a session titled Practice Pizzazz in Quarantine Times and Beyond. At 2 p.m., these are all Eastern Daylight Times, Randy Gardner famous low hornist, former second horn of the Philadelphia Orchestra, will be giving a talk called Mastering the Low Horn. Later this evening at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Peggy Moran, Associate Professor of Horn at the University of Central Oklahoma, will give his talk, a master class entitled Mindfulness and Masterclass. And finally, at 8 p.m., Bernhard will give a very special session titled KBHC, An Integrated Approach to Learning the Horn. Until then, please, we encourage you all to post on social media using the hashtag KBHC 2020. I believe I typed it incorrectly in the chat there, but hopefully you type it correctly. And with that, I will say goodbye to all of you. Have a great day.